Rabies, a disease, is killing 70,000 people yearly across the globe. Just last year, over 50 rabies deaths were recorded in Ghana. Journalists at Kwame Boateng investigate why, though a preventable disease, rabies is still killing many Ghanaians, especially children and the elderly. He discovered in his latest documentary, Deadly Pets, that the anti-human rabies vaccine can barely be found on the market in Ghana. So though people bitten by dogs may rush to the hospital for treatment, the unfortunate ones bitten by the dogs that are infected because they may die because of their inability to access the vaccine.
Dogs are humans' best friend. Some even regard them as family members, deserving to be treasured, cared for, and loved. Dogs have what some animal experts say is an unconditional love and friendship that many people cannot get from other humans. They are very loyal and trustworthy. It is the reason 25-year-old Stephen Boachiadom cannot go through his entire day without spending time with his dogs.
I love them because they have this soul. I think they are the only pet or the only animal that have a bit of soul, and they show some unconditional love. I can trust a dog rather than a man for security, because a man can betray, dogs cannot.
Within a twinkling of an eye, the tables can turn, and that best friend can suddenly become the worst thing that ever happened to you. That is when it is carrying rabies, a deadly but preventable viral disease. In fact, dogs are the source of up to 99% of all rabies deaths and transmissions to humans, as head of public health at Ghana's Veterinary Services, Dr. Bashiru Boy Kimoto explains.
Yeah, rabies, is a viral disease that is transmitted through bites of an infected warm-blooded animal to another. For example, the commonest in the developing world are dogs, followed by cats and then monkeys.
The dog will only start biting people if the virus attack on the brain and spinal cord makes them aggressive. At this point, it forgets about its owner and can even bite to kill. Such deaths are preventable. 41-year-old Sule Atubiga lived happily with her sister and her 4 children in this long-abandoned factory on the outskirts of Agogo. But a rabid dog, their own pet, bit and killed her sister.
My sister owned the dog. It was very young when she brought it in. Strangers, including school children, could even come here and play without any attack from the dog. Shockingly, one day, one of the children came here, and the dog attacked him and bit him. I wasn't around, so my sister quickly intervened and got the dog chained, but in the process, it also bit my sister.
The child, who was the first victim, was rushed to hospital for an anti-rabies vaccine. The woman, however, thought hers was not any big deal, so she only chewed kola nut and rubbed some of it on the wound. In some parts of Ghana, it is believed that kola nut is able to perform the same function as tetanus injection as well as anti-rabies vaccine. Sule tells me that, however, did not work for his sister.
Initially, she did not feel any pain, so I left and went back to the north to do some work. Later, they informed me she was complaining of pain in her arm, so they rushed her to the hospital. That made me calm down. She died in the evening of my arrival. I saw her before she died. She kept shaking her head like how dogs do it. She simply could not stop shaking her head. I was told that is how they behave when they are dying of rabies. She was just drooling.
In circumstances like this, they conclude their enemies with supernatural powers rather killed their relative. but used their own dog as a medium. 60-year-old Che Mensah can relate. He lost his 12-year-old grandson, Kwesi, to rabies.
It was his own dog. It wasn't as if it belonged to another person. It was a very loving dog. As soon as it hears the sound of my car, it runs out to meet me. We have still not come to terms with how a bad spirit managed to enter it to do this to my grandson. It was a very young dog and it behaved like a human being. It wasn't a bad dog, rather a very calm one. How a bad spirit entered it to scratch it and kill the boy remains a puzzle.
So this is how it all started. The dog suddenly disappeared from home. It came back after a week. Young Kwesi, the owner of the dog, ran to welcome it after days of intensive search for it. Unfortunately, instead of playing with Kwesi, Mr. Mensah says the dog rather started scratching him. Instead of sending him to hospital for an anti-rabies vaccine, Kwesi was rather sent to health worker in their town for anti-tetanus injection.
I did not take it very seriously because it was a mere scratch and not a bite. So when I returned from work and they told me he had already been injected, I did not bother again. I felt if it was something serious, they would have referred him to the hospital. We, however, started noticing some changes in him after some days. He started gazing at things in a weird way. We took him to the hospital and a number of drugs were given. After some time, he started collapsing, so I took him to the hospital again. The doctor brought a bowl of water and asked him to look into it. He had developed a phobia for water, so he could not look into it. We were referred again to another hospital, and that was where they told us he had either been bitten or given scratches by a dog.
My name is Seth Kwame Boateng, and today on Hotline, I will be telling you how so many lives are being lost to a preventable disease such as rabies, and how the seeming negligence on the part of the authorities is spawning the problem. I will also be telling you how you can prevent your dog or cat, which may be your best friend, from becoming your worst enemy.
Well, you don't have to wait for long for those documentaries airing today, 6:30 p.m. here on this channel, the Joy News channel on Multi TV.